Good evening, barbecue family. Thank you for joining me on the second Backyard Smokemaster podcast. So, we are currently streaming live. We should be getting a live feed across Facebook, YouTube, as well as Twitch. I want to start off by thanking Jeff, and I see a handle GNBTP, and Angelique Brown Jr. I think that's Angel and Nate. Jo, Wayne is here. So I want to thank all of you guys for taking a bit of time out to spend with us on this podcast. Tonight, I have a very special guest. Now, bear with me. So I'm doing a lot of firsts on the podcast. So this will be my first time having a guest who is not with me here at my home. So I'm trying to operate all of the gadgets and wizardry around me and keep it all going here. But my special guest this evening is Matt Williams. Now, Matt is also known as Grill Chill Repeat, and he has a very significant following on Instagram, over 4,000 subscribers, or followers, I should say, on Instagram. He is the brand ambassador for J. Christopher Spices, Bear Mountain Pellets, Decline Hawaiian Spices, I hope I'm saying that right, and Hey Grill Hey. Now let me bring Matt in here. Bear with me. All right.
Hey, how you doing?
All right, there he is, Matt. Now let me also disclose that Matt and I are actually related. We are third cousins. Unfortunately, we really haven't been physically in the same space many times. I'm thinking maybe twice. I can definitely remember the last time was a family cookout. So, we both had an opportunity to do a little bit of cooking, and that's something that we both have in common is barbecue. But we've gotten to know each other over the years, primarily through social media and, different streams or not streams, but like kind of like Zoom calls. We've been on a few of those. So I definitely feel like I've gotten to know Matt over the last few years. And I love the fact that, like me, he has a deep passion for barbecue. So I thought, that now that I'm getting my live podcast going, he would be someone perfect to have on the podcast. So first, Matt, thank you for coming on. How's it going?
You're welcome. Doing good, doing good. How are you doing?
Doing pretty good, Trying to shake out the nerves here, but I'm settling in. All right. So let me just start off and ask you, what sparked your interest in barbecue? Like, what made you, not just be someone who dibbles and dabbles with barbecue, but to really try and get, good at it? And I see, just from following you, and what you're doing on Instagram, that you take it pretty seriously. So what sparked that interest?
Ah, I think it just has to go back to when I was a kid, watching my uncles and aunts out there on the, just using regular charcoal on the Weber. Doing as I got older, we was able to start the grill, and just kind of watch, flip the burgers, flip the meat when it was ready. But that was it. But it wasn't more till about my mid 20s when I would start flipping gas grills into charcoal.
Okay.
So I was
And
doing that for a while.
yeah, what type of grills do you currently own?
Currently, right now, I own a Green Mountain grill and a Smoke Hollow box.
Oh, okay. Now I haven't heard of that one. Tell me about that one.
It's kind of like off brand, but it was a gift for my birthday, so it was my first type of smoker. It's operated mostly by propane and wood chips.
Okay.
But over the last couple months, I've been able to add some pellets to get some more smoky flavor to the meat.
Nice.
So
Nice.
I've been playing with that smoked box for a little bit.
Okay. Okay. That sounds good. And So you've got a couple. Do you have are you looking to get another grill, another smoker? Do you have your eyes on anything? Like in a perfect world, what would be next?
Next will be a Blackstone flat top.
Flat top.
Yeah,
All right.
we're ready for a flat top. So I'll probably go with a 2 or 3 burner. We have a small porch. I don't want to take up the whole porch on our patio.
Right.
Yeah, because those
Yeah.
Green Mountains can pretty much take up the whole quarter of a back patio.
Yeah, I can relate to that. I think the key is, you just gotta keep plying your wife, with good food, and then she'll be
Correct.
more agreeable, to letting you add on there. Um, so every one in barbecue also has like kind of like their must have, whenever you're out there cooking accessory, and then also your favorite accessory. And they might be one and the same, they might be two different ones. But what are your, what do you consider to be like a absolute must have with me accessory?
I don't know. Sometimes I just have my thermometer right there, ready to go. I think that's mainly it because everything when you cook on a smoker, you have to have your thermometer. So mainly it's my thermometer.
Right.
Yeah.
And what's your favorite food to cook?
Tri tips are number one, ribs are second, wings are third. I stay away from the brisket, so that's about quarterly. So I'm due for a brisket cook pretty soon.
Okay. And
Yeah.
so when you're doing ribs, this is always, controversial. Do you follow the 3-2-1 method, or do you have your own method?
So I kind of go with a 3-2-1 method, but I keep within the 4 to 5 hour range of the total cook time. So I'll maybe wrap at 4 hours for 45 minutes and take it off for 15 and call it a day, or I'll wrap at 3.5 hours in and let it go for 45 minutes to an hour and then let it sauce for 15 minutes and be done. So the only thing I'm looking for right now is that pullback in the last hour or so.
Right. And then when you wrap, are you adding anything? Are you putting any liquid in there, or butter or honey, or are you doctoring it up at all?
The butter and honey goes in there with the brown sugar sometimes, or I'll put a little barbecue sub the barbecue sauce with the honey. I've done it with pineapple syrup to give it that nice little sweet flavor. I've put some Dr. Pepper in it a couple times just to kind of get the sweetness and that stickiness. So it just depends on the mood and what flavor I'm trying to throw with it. Because it's all about whatever rub and sauce, you got to make sure the flavors mix.
Got it. Got it. And then do you do you have a go-to sauce, barbecue sauce? Do you make your own?
For me, it's either Hey Girl Haze, whiskey bent, whiskey peach whips whiskey, sorry, or the kinds. Either of her three. She has the smoky, the original, and the spicy. So I kind of use it, go back and forth, and
Okay.
then it follows by Oakland Dust and Five Monkeys from there.
Okay. Now speaking of Hey Grill Hey, like I mentioned earlier, you're a brand ambassador for Hey Grill Hey amongst a few others. So how did that come about? Like, did you reach out to Hey Grill Hey? Did they reach out to you? How did you get that amongst your other brand ambassadorships?
So with Hey Girl Hey, Susie and Todd, I've been friends with them since the start of this barbecue journey. So when she started on Food Network with the Barbecue Showdown with Bobby Flay and that group right there on Food Network, I was following her there. And then she's very personal. Ask a question, how do you cook this? She'll apply back. I'm using your recipe. Can I sub this? So it just started with that type of Q&As. Bought her rubs, liked it, continue with it. But over the years, just developed a friendship with both of them. And then as she started to release her line more, that's when I asked, "Hey, are you interested in me becoming your brand ambassador?" And they were all for it. Just like with the kind, same way with her. A guy was using it on his jerky, and so I was like, let me try some of the syrups first, and then got the syrups, and then I got a care package with it, and then just built that relationship with her and their, her partners, and became her ambassador. But Jay Christopher actually was the first one that reached out to me when I was just starting off and saying, "Hey, this guy is going to be a perfect ambassador for any company."
Oh, cool, cool. Yeah, I remember that last time that we did see each other before the pandemic. I remember that you gave me some of Jay Christopher's uh, rubs to try out, and that's good stuff. So that's very
Yeah.
cool. Um, Now, I also see in the comments here a few people are talking about tri-tips. Um, Now, what? Well, tell me about your method for doing a tri-tip. Are you smoking it? Are you reverse searing, or how do you go about it?
For me, I trim it all the way down. I take all that fat off that silver skin, and then I let it sit at room temperature because I trim it when it's still cold, when it's out of the refrigerator, so it's easier. It's not too wobbly. And then I take that silver skin and let it sit in olive oil or duck fat, get a nice little binder, and then throw whatever seasoning I'm going to use for that day. And then I'll usually smoke it about 325 till it hits 115. And depending on my mood that day, if I want a nice little roast, I'll leave it like that, or I'll sear it up about 475, or bring it in and throw it on the cast iron real quick to get a nice sear. I haven't done reverse sears mainly Wayne and Rick, but I just like to smoke it and then sear it.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, that sounds good. I mostly have just I usually just smoke my tri-tip. I haven't really tried to do like a reverse sear, but I do see, in the comments, a few people are also commenting on, how incredible reverse seared tri-tip
Yeah.
is. Yeah. Now you've got some young kids. Um, have they developed an interest in barbecue, or do they have like favorites that you do, like something that's requested often?
Um, for the oldest, he can actually start it up. So he's done dinners out there during the summer. When I'm coming in from work, I'll walk him through how to do it. He starts it, lets it go. So he'll cook burgers or he'll throw chicken on there. My daughter bakes on there, so it's cookies or a cake. She'll throw something on the Green Mountain. But mainly, what they'll go to is ribs and mac and cheese. Those are their two requests.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yeah.
That's also very cool that that you've gotten them you've gotten them out there on the grill. My daughter's a little bit older than yours. She's almost 17, and she has absolutely no interest, in trying to learn how to barbecue or anything. I mean, she makes some requests, but yeah, she does not have any time, to be out there barbecuing. Um, Also, have you thought about getting involved like in any of the local like barbecue or steak competitions?
So I go to the SCAs, and because of my work schedule, it's been hard to attend the contests. So I've been a judge for a couple of them, but it's just hard to get out there because of my work schedule. So I'll catch it like halfway in between when they're on stake A or stake B, but never on the Fool's Day.
Okay. Now
Yeah.
for SCA, because I know I've judged some like KCBS sanctioned events in the past. Now for SCA, do they also have like certified judges? Do you have to go, like go to like a class to get certified, or how does that work?
I know for SCA, it's usually the night before a competition. So they'll say, "Hey, we're doing it. Come in, pay whatever the dues is, $35 to become a judge." And they teach you the characteristics of You're looking for the taste, you're looking for the color, you're looking for the flavor, tenderness. So you're looking for those type of ordeals out of the steak when you judge them. So mainly you're judging the ribeye cap.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then is there like is there like a certain level of doneness that they want, like medium rare, or I mean, does it run the gamut, whatever the cook wants to do, or are you looking for a certain level of doneness?
For the ones that I've done, you're getting looking around 125 to 130 internal temps. So for those that are looking for that, it's about a medium to medium rare cook. Friends that do it consistently, that are in the Instagram community, barbecue community, they're perfect at like hitting it at 128 and pulling it off.
Got it.
So
Nice, nice. Now we did get a question here. How do you smoke the mac and cheese?
there's two choices you can do. You can cook it all outside, boil your water, cook your noodles, and throw your cheese in there. But for me, I started on the stove, and then I get it all the way through the roux, the milk, the flour, get that roux going, the butter, throw whatever cheeses you want in it, mix it all together, and I throw it outside in the cast iron or a one of those aluminum pans, and let that smoke flavor kick in. Whatever the temperature is of whatever I'm cooking, it pretty much sits at the same temperature. So it's one of the last things I put in there because you don't want it to dry out.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know about you, like, but for me, you know, I guess I always just tend to find myself, dealing with the proteins. I'm out there
Yeah.
doing the chicken, the steaks, and the brisket, and all of that stuff. And in my head, I keep thinking, I'm gonna start, trying to also do more veggies, and other side dishes and stuff like that. How are you with, the kind of the the additional stuff, like the veggies and all of that?
It wasn't until about a year ago, I think last summer, we had a guest on our Thursday night Zoom. Her name's Katz Meats, and she was talking about side dishes because she makes a lot of side dishes along with hers. And she said, never forget about the side.
Yeah.
Uh, so it's anywhere from vegetables. They usually, if you're doing vegetables, you throw those on last. So if you know your meat's almost done in 20 minutes, throw your vegetables on because you're gonna want soggy zucchini or squash or you know uh, broccoli, whatever type of vegetable you're using. So I kind of put those on last and saute them. Cast iron's really great. If you're roasting them, put on a cookie sheet, throw some olive oil or whatever seasoning you want on there, and let it get nice and crisp. So that's what I usually do when it comes to the herbivore side of the cook.
There you go. That's good. That's good. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get some pointers from you, because that's all. I'm like in my head. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do that, but then it always ends up being an afterthought. And like you said, by the time I see that my protein is almost ready, then it's too late. You know,
Yeah.
so
As soon as for me, as soon as I throw that protein, I'm already working on my sides. So
yeah,
I'm all about temp, and I'm all watching the temp because if you set your smokers, to say 325, and you throw that tri-tip in there or those ribs in there, and you're already at wrap, you should be working on your sides already.
right.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah,
Yeah, and some veggies like they take some of them. They take longer than you think.
yeah.
That they would. So so I will say I
Collard,
am. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say collard greens take about a good 2-3 hours.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And I like to do kind of like the starches. So I'll do like a smoked potato, or also like to do corn as well. Corn doesn't take too long, but I
yeah.
like to do the potato kind of slow, to kind of really, get it tender, break it down. Um, all right, Matt. Well, let me ask you: is there anything that you wanted to promote or offer up? Like if you had advice for someone who's just getting into barbecue, let me ask you that first. What advice would you give?
For what I give is start with what's in your budget first, because anywhere you can spend anywhere from 300 to $2,000 depending on the brand you're looking for. So you want to start small or medium. Um, do your research too. The
Yeah,
difference between going with a Traeger to a Green Mountain or pit boss or to a barrel. Like, do your research. And also where you live, because some places may not like charcoal. If you have a backyard, you can have all of it. And with pellet grills, people don't understand it's actually electric. It's powered by electric, and everything else is fire inside the box because it's burning the pellets, but it's all electric. That's one good thing about it because you're not really stressing about it unless the power goes out. But you can always connect it to a battery.
right.
But I think when people are getting into it, because I have friends that ask me all the time, is just start small. Start small. When you do your protein, start small. Burgers, tri-tips, chicken. Learn from there before you expand. Pork loins are really good to cook first too.
Yeah, pork loins. And then if you want to try to do a long cook, pork butt is very forgiving. Hard
Yeah,
to you know destroy a pork butt as well.
yeah. You can
Um,
always throw that in the oven if you think you can't finish it.
that's right. Absolutely, no shame in that. Because you really just you're trying to get that smoke flavor at the beginning of the cook, but that doesn't mean you
Correct.
have to finish the cook and be out there struggling um, over a long period of time. Also, like your advice about doing research, starting small. In terms of picking, what type of grill to start with. Don't be overly ambitious, but then you also you want to get good value for your
Yeah.
money. I think, yeah, you don't want to necessarily get like that $20 grill that they're selling at the supermarket, because then you might have a hard time keeping temperature, and you get frustrated. So you do
And
want something that has a pretty decent quality to it.
yeah. You like, especially $20, and those grades are cheap, so your burgers are flapping through. So it's not even worth it. It's not worth it. You might as well just go buy a grill grade and throw it on top of a couple wood pieces.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. For G&B chuck roast, try your chuck roast and do it all the way to a brisket style. You might like it.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Um, so Matt, let me just, first again, thank you for taking a little bit of time out. I don't want to keep you too long here. Appreciate your time. Um, was there anything else you wanted to talk about, promote, or just anything in general?
I just, I, like I said, I started this page 2 years ago, just mainly because my in-laws were, having struggle getting cooking done on time. So I took over the cooking responsibilities. And being here in SoCal, it's always hot. So try to cook inside, it's not even an option. So I started cooking outside, trying flavors, and it just went from there. And mainly it picked up more in November because of my sister passing away. So it was my therapy. And
Yeah.
if you like cooking, it could be your therapy. It could be your outlet. Just explore, have fun, experiment. I learned from Kenyatta. I learned from my friend Dyno Dan in here. I learned from a lot of people across this community, across this world, have an interest in cooking and barbecuing, and you would not believe how much knowledge you learn from these people, from everyone.
Uh,
I'm in a Thursday night chat every Thursday, and we sit there and we talk it up. We talk about how to cook a tri-tip. We talk about picking on me for not cooking a brisket all the time. So it's just it's just those things, and you have fun. It's like a camaraderie. It's like a band of brothers.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And wait, crush it, and sisters.
Right.
Because if you just watch this year's season of Food Network's Barbecue Showdown,
Yeah.
Erica is my cousin, even though I call her my cousin sister. She's been with me throughout COVID, throughout this whole barbecue journey, and she is amazing. Give her, guys, got to give her a shout out too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
Love seeing how, because yeah, I remember being on one of those pitmaster Zoom calls with her, and just the way she is like on the show, and the stuff I'm seeing her do now, it's exactly the same.
yeah.
Very outgoing, always smiling. Great personality. So yeah, absolutely. And also, yeah, couldn't agree with you more about how really getting into barbecue is therapeutic. For me, it's a reason to enjoy my backyard. To
Yeah,
just get out there and just take my time with the whole process. From A to Z, and just enjoy it. And then just the satisfaction you get, when people enjoy your food, um, you can't beat that.
yeah.
It's priceless. So I absolutely agree with that.
And
Um,
plus, too, having a smoker, you don't have to go out there constantly and watch it. Because once your temperature's set and your thermometers are working, you can go and clean the house and come back in 45 minutes just to make sure everything's still going. That's one thing I love about it.
True. Well, it kind of depends though. Caveat could be like if you're cooking with a stick burner, you
Yeah,
do have to keep your eye on that. But no, I agree. Like a pellet or a well-made charcoal-based grill smoker. Yeah. Once you get that temperature dialed in, like you said, yeah, you just know that you've got time to do some other things, and you come back a few hours later, and you've got some great food. Absolutely.
definitely.
Absolutely. All right, Matt. Well, I'm going to let you go. But thanks again for agreeing to come on. Um, I will say to you as well as everyone out there watching. So basically, what I am trying to do is to give exposure to, um, you know, I don't want to say lesser known barbecue, but just kind of like us regular folks. There are definitely some superstars out there, in the barbecue world with huge followings, like on YouTube, and or on like Food Network. Um, but I think there's also a space, for the guys like us who are just enjoy being out there and sharing our experience. There's a space for that too. So I am asking the folks who are watching, as well as you, Matt, if there are other people that you think would be good to have on the podcast, please let me know, because I'm definitely trying to get as many folks as I can on here as well.
Well, there is one guy that's still, if he's still on, Dyno Dan. He's really good. He does a lot of community outreach cooking. He does uh, puts on a lot of competitions in his own backyard. So he's a
Oh,
good person, especially he's done state competitions as well. So Dan's a good guy.
all right. I
Yeah,
appreciate that. Yeah. So I will reach out to Dan. That's good. That's exactly what I'm looking for here. All right, man. Thanks again, and
thank you.
I'll catch you on the other side on Instagram or someplace, and hopefully we'll be able to get together in person sooner than later. Now that things are starting to settle down and open back up.
Definitely, we're doing a cooking event up there in the Bay Area, hopefully with Johnny and a few others. So we'll definitely have to throw you down with that. Just bring your grill over.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, Johnny has agreed to come on my podcast as well, so he'll be on. I want to say early April. I think is the date that we settled on. So I'm looking forward to talking with him as well.
Yeah. He actually, if I think you were the first one time he came on, it's been up to 3 years now with his little Zoom chats.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get back on there. I just got I don't know, I just got kind of tied up with just some other stuff during that time that they're on. But I did see the other day that you guys are still doing that.
Yeah, we've been doing it every Thursday.
Okay,
It's amazing. It's the camaraderie and the bond you build just over food is amazing. You
right,
know, it's talking about cooking and besides BSing and everything else, but I'm talking to guys in Canada, Florida, New Jersey. You know, we've had guys that were in Australia pop on.
yeah. Well,
So, you know,
that's
this
I mean that's something that we all have in common, right?
yeah,
I mean, I think sports is like one of the things that bring a lot of people diverse together. But then, I mean, food is absolutely a universal common denominator. I mean, there's obviously different cultures,
yeah.
different ways of preparing it, but everyone loves a good meal. Um, so
Everyone loves food.
right.
You gotta eat. You gotta eat sometime.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, so I don't know. You can hang out if you want. Actually, I'm just kind of checking out the comments here. If folks, have any questions for myself or for Matt, please feel free to do so. Um, Let's see. The other thing I wanted to also mention is let's see. I'm sorry.
You need a Michigan hat. Said a USC hat. He said.
Oh, okay. Now I'm getting trolled. Yeah, yeah. Actually, let me put that up here. Hold on, because I do have a thought about that. So yeah, Michigan hat. No, that's not going to happen. Actually, Michigan's kind of a sore spot because in addition to being a USC Trojan, both something that Matt and I also have in common is that we're also 49er fans, and Jim Harbaugh kind of left San Francisco on kind of messy terms, and you can argue whether it was his fault or whether it was, ownership and management's fault, but it was a little bit messy. So I kind of I kind of look at Harbaugh with a side eye right now. I don't know about you, Matt.
Hey, I'm a Michigan fan, so I was
Okay.
kind of happy he left. He at least went to a school that I could support.
That you can support.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I'll take him for a couple more years at Michigan before he jumps back to the NFL.
Yeah, I saw he kind of
Yeah,
kind of toyed with that,
yeah.
I guess to get a little bit more money. But we won't get too deep into the 49er stuff.
Uh,
Um, all right, and I see Angel asked, "Where's Jeanine tonight?" So yeah, Jeanine, I'm still trying to get her to commit to being on the podcast on a regular basis. So she was kind of wavering back and forth. I thought she was going to come on, but at the last second, she decided not to do it. Um, I think she kind of felt like maybe she'd be a third wheel in the conversation, but I think she would have been, just fine, chopping it up with Matt and myself. So so we'll see. Maybe I can get her to come on next time.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, okay, guys. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this one up. So I'm not going to do a podcast next week. It's my daughter's 17th birthday on Friday. So I'm gonna reserve that time to do something special for her. But we will be back in 2 weeks with another guest. So please stick around for that. Again, you can find Matt over on Instagram. Let me get his handle back up there, so you all can see it. There we go. Grill, chill, repeat. Again, it's a great. That's a great follow. Matt stays active. I mean, I'm just in awe actually, because I'm just like, I don't know how you guys do it. I look up every day. I see Matt posting, pictures of great food, and then he's also doing like, the stories, the reels, and just you won't get bored, if you follow Matt on Instagram. Stays super active. And then as for me, I'm primarily on YouTube. Again, the Backyard Smokemaster Barbecue channel. Planning to do a lot of things this year, really trying to get more content out there, something that is brand new in addition to the podcast. Also offering now memberships on the YouTube channel, just to give you guys more behind the scenes content. There'll be more lives. I'm planning to do live cooks as well. So definitely check me out on YouTube, but I can also be found on, the other ones, Facebook, Instagram, all of that. How about you, Matt? Are you primarily on Instagram, or are you also on other platforms?
Currently, majority it's Instagram. I have tried to troll over to TikTok, but that was just hard to do back and forth. Like film the videos over there, how does it translate over here? It was nerve wracking. So I just stuck to one platform at the current moment. I may tap her over and back into Facebook, because now you can set up your own private page. So I just got to make sure I can, when I go, I can post back and forth. So that's pretty much what I'm starting to do. But right now, I'll just ramp up. I'm almost hitting 5,000 followers. That's my current goal right now. I always let it come naturally. Don't don't rush. I don't buy followers. So everything's
Right.
natural. So,
Total.
but
Yeah.
there was a question about smoked chicken. Let me answer that question real quick. Chicken, everyone says cook to 165. My goal when it comes to chicken breast, 155, and let it rest.
Hmm.
155 to 160, because it stays moist.
Yeah.
You kick it past 165, you got dried meat. So that's my advice with smoking chicken.
Yeah, I think I tend to stick more around 160. But I don't have any, like scientific proof, that being at 160 as opposed to 155 is really going to make a big difference. Yeah, like this, you're saying you can't get the skin to crisp up. I mean, that's kind of the challenge, right? When you're doing, especially if you're smoking the chicken,
Yeah.
at a low temperature, it's gonna be difficult to get that skin crispy. Let me see. Wayne says,
Olive oil and duck fat usually helps it at low
yeah,
temperatures.
yeah, I do. I have done olive oil. I do that a lot. I haven't tried the duck fat though, so maybe I should give that a look as well. See, Wayne says he takes his up to 165 and it's not dry. Yeah, I think I think the thing is that you just got to make sure when you take it to 165, get it off at 165. You know, don't slip up and let it go like beyond that, because then you can't end up with some cardboard like meat.
But chicken wings take up to 180.
Yes, I
You know,
agree.
chicken wings, you want to take up a little higher.
See, Dan says dark meat 165, white meat 155. Yeah, because you're gonna get some carryover, while you let it rest.
Yeah, because it's gonna set the nice temperature with it too. So
Right. Got a lot of opinions out here on this
yes,
one. Yeah, Robin 165 for white meat, 165 to 170 for dark meat, and it's not dry.
depending on what is she cooking on is a question.
Uh, so what are you thinking if she's cooking on like a charcoal?
If
You
she's on
think it'll
charcoal, you got to do it's indirect because if you're on direct, you got to make sure that temperature doesn't joke up quickly.
okay,
Yeah,
that's what you meant. Yeah,
yeah.
direct versus indirect. Let's see. Pull up a few more here. Wayne lets it rest for 10 minutes or so before cutting. Yeah, I do the same thing.
I agree on that one.
And again, Dan says, yeah, you won't get crispy skin. Best you can do is bite through. Yeah, I when I've done some videos on chicken, I think I did one. I think I called it something like, how to get the perfect, ensure you get perfect chicken every time. And yeah, that was one question, was like how was the skin? And yeah, the skin is not gonna be it's not gonna be crispy. If you're smoking it, or the technique that I used was something that I had seen Harry Sue do. Where he took the chicken, it was chicken thighs, and even after he got it all the way up to like 165 internal, he then, even after that point, took the chicken, put it in like an aluminum pan, covered the top with foil, put it back on the smoker for another hour, and I mean that chicken. It turns out to be, so you're taking it definitely past 165,
Yeah,
170. You're taking it way up, but it's always extremely tender, and very juicy as well. But bite through skin, yeah, that's haven't figured that, how to get, a good
that's
smoked
always a mystery.
chicken, yeah, with bite through as well. That's a tough call right there, a tough
Yep.
ask.
And it's hard to do a competition style when you're trying to cook within a time frame too. So
Yeah, that's another challenge. I guess my thing is like when I'm cooking at home for the family. I've tried to teach them to stop asking me when it's going to be ready. The barbecue, it's ready when it's ready. So, I know sometimes they get, a little impatient, and my cooks might go a little bit, farther than, it might take longer than what they hope for dinner. But, I'm not going to mess up my, I'm not going to mess up my cook, to try to adhere to a certain time. So that's always an issue for us.
yeah, for me, it's just I look at the clock and say, okay, I want to be finished by 5:30. So what am I going to cook that's going to be finished by that time?
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
So
So
if
I
I'm
think
cooking
my
ribs, I'm starting early. If I'm cooking tri-tip,
yeah,
I'll start maybe 4 o'clock.
there you go.
So
But again, but you're using, so you got your Green Mountain grill, and the other one again you said was like a gas.
it's a box that's fueled by propane, but it's mainly a chip. It's a wood chip feed.
Okay.
So it burns wood chips. So it's indirect heat, but it puts out some good smoke flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I imagine that it's probably also um, easier to keep a consistent temperature, right?
Temperature fluctuates a little more, so I do have to definitely keep my thermopro in there for a while. But it does do what I needed to do. Ribs are perfect. Bone pulls out in 5 hours. Tri-tip, nice and smoking, just juicy. So everything still cooks well.
All right. All
Yeah.
right. Sounds good. Let's see. Let me pull up this comment here. So Wayne says you can crisp up the skin by putting it over direct heat for a certain amount of time for each side. Yeah, that's true. Um, I I don't know. I haven't really been that concerned enough to do that, but I think yeah, if I really wanted to get the skin crispier, that's what I would do as well.
I think the next couple months or month, so I'm going to try to be doing those lollipop leg thighs.
Ah, yeah, yeah.
So that's going to be my next experiment. Um, so Dan, that cooker is my first one. It's a small brand; you don't see it that often, but it's a good box cook. So it's all wood chip. I throw pellets in there, but it's really good. So you should try it out.
All right. All right. Well, looks like the comments, the questions have slowed down. We've been at it now. It's almost 8 o'clock, so I think I'm going to go ahead and call it a wrap once again. But
Sounds
again,
good.
thanks again, Matt, and thank you to everyone out there. Seemed like all of the comments came from YouTube, so I hope that we also went out on Facebook. So I'll have to check the replay to make sure that worked out right. But anyway, again, next podcast will be in 2 weeks. And then in the meantime, I am going to try to get some more stuff out over the channel. So again, look for Matt Grill Chill Repeat on Instagram. And then look for me again on the Backyard Smoke Master Barbecue channel, primarily on YouTube, but you can also reach me on Instagram and Facebook as well. So thanks again, everyone. Thank you, Matt. And
Thank you.
we'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.
All right, you too.
All right.